Good morning, Celtic crew, Celtic fandom. How are you this morning?
Good, good. I'm just semi-recovered from a flu by the looks of it.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I meant to
But
actually lead with that. You look like you got a right nasty flu. All
do you
your
know,
vitals were just.
it literally came out of nowhere. I trained Monday and I came back. And like after I ate my post-workout, and after that, my appetite was a bit slow. So I was kind of maybe I kind of sent it a bit too much. I'll take it easy. I ended up having a shake for my last meal on a Monday. Got up Tuesday morning, literally didn't check my vitals. Like I don't check them every day. Like I just kind of get on with my day. Like it's kind of, you know yourself, if you feel like you're a bit wiped, you might look at it. Went to train on Tuesday and literally my whole joint, my whole body just felt cold. As I went on the rack, a Smith, when I was coming down, I just went, not, that's not working. That's not happening today. So just literally walked around the gym, had a chat with one or two of the lads, tried one or two little small exercises, just didn't feel good, went home and I was wiped. Body temperature went straight up to 38 degrees. I ran a bat at like 45 degrees. I set on the thing. I said it's 45 degrees and this was steaming. Hopped into it and I felt like it was barely warm. It was like lukewarm. I was in it for about 45 minutes and then just sleeping, just pretty much rode off. 3 meals in 2 days, 10 pounds down. Like I couldn't eat. Like, do you know that thing when you just like you trying to eat? Like I made a meal and I try and take a spoon of it and I just couldn't, just with the high temperature and just the sweating. So yesterday I took the decision to literally just try and get my meals in, and I worked for about 45 minutes, went to bed for about half an hour, 45 minutes. You know, I kept kind of going between office to bedroom, just resting, dark rooms, stayed off my phone as much as I could. And then this morning, body temperature normal, my readiness has gone up to like 88 and it was like 32 the other day. So fingers crossed. So that's my rant for today. 10 pounds down, skinny bitch vibes. Need to try and get back at it.
You'll bounce back quickly. Don't worry.
I know.
It's always the way.
I know.
I hate that. Like it has to be. I have to be very bad now to not be able to eat when I'm sick. But when I do get that bad, there's nothing fucking worse.
And you try, like, no matter what, you want to try and get it in. And yeah, before my options would have been as, well, I just try and get some like shit food to get the calories in. But even if I did that, like, I'd barely be able to get that in as well. So I just did what I could. That's why I said I'd make a shake or two, just try and even just sit that down. And like when you see the scales, like what's more depressing when you see the scales? Like I think that's the worst thing for a man, like when we're in the gym, is like when you see that 10, 12 pounds, like 5, 6 kilo just drop off in like 2 days.
But
Like,
I think what you learn over time is not to panic, because you know, Mike, a couple of days and that's straight back on.
oh, it comes straight back like that. Cause like today, like I got my meals in yesterday pretty well, not all. I got like, I normally do 6 meals. I got like 4.5, I'd say, close on 5, because the appetite did start to go last night. And I just think it was just tiredness then as well, just from allowing myself to recover. But then this morning, like, I'm still down that kind of like 10 pounds. I'm still around the same weight because I got supplements back in. Like on Wednesday night, I was just asleep early. Like, I didn't get the GH in. I didn't get Lantus in because I was just so tired that day that I just said, look, I'm just going to not do any of that today. That for a day or two. That's all gone back in now. Yesterday morning, back in tonight now with GH. So I'd say I'd be back to that. Like I was just sub 116 on Monday, and I was in the gym and I was actually like, this is the best I've looked at 116. And then when you're at that 111 now, like, but like as we know, and that's probably something like we'd see with clients, because like I had one or two of my clients, like obviously you're the same. Everyone is sick at the minute. One of my clients texts me, is like, I had to take the day off work. I'm just going to take some vitamin C and I'm try and train later. Like, no, like you're off work for a reason. Like you need to recover. And like, he's like, oh, I want to make sure I get all my sessions done. Like, because I'm in prep now in 10 weeks. Doesn't matter. Like, and like, we would have all been probably criminal and like, have done that ourselves. Like, you know, when we're coming up, if we miss the gym, if we miss a meal, like, I know it feels like things go backwards when it doesn't. Like from our experience now, 5, 6 days, I'll be back to where I was. My lifts will start coming in. That's the same thing with training. Like if you miss training sessions, people will think about, oh, I'll have to push even harder. I'll try and throw extra volume in here. The same thing we would have discussed on previous podcasts. People will try and like say, I missed 2 sessions. they'd nearly train 5 days in a row to try and get their split back in line. Like, it's just for us now and our experience just to be clever.
Just to touch off that, actually, over the Christmas, just before I went home when I got sick, I actually took probably the longest period of rest off the gym that I have in fucking ages. And I felt all the better for it, because normally, you know, I take 3-4 days off, and I kind of know myself in the back of my mind, don't think I'm fully recovered to be going back to the gym here. But you know how it is. You're so hungry for progression. You want to get back in. You want to do something. But then I go back in and I'd have like 3-4 kind of like mess sessions, half-hour sessions, and then I kind of get back to full volume, back to full intensity very slowly. Whereas this time around, like, I went into the gym, did like one D-volume upper session, and then I was training legs with Mark. Full volume, great session. And then after that, upper, lower, full volume, great sessions. So I was able to get back into full volume and intensity much quicker, but only because I just took way more rest than I normally would. And to be honest, I didn't actually want to take that much rest. It just fell with traveling, getting home, gym being closed over Christmas.
Yeah.
It just so happened that it was kind of like half me making the decision to take the rest, and half kind of just schedule and all circumstances kind of making sure that I didn't. But I was all the better for it. So I think it's probably been a little bit of a wake-up call to be like, right, if you do get sick again, maybe try to take a little bit longer of a rest than you normally do.
It's probably for us as well as like, that's what yesterday is the first day that I spent majority of it lying in bed and not trying to like do as much sit in the office. Because like, you know, with us, like, you'd feel bad, like you feel like you need to be doing something, like you have to be getting back your messages straight away. You want to do your updates. But like, when I just took that rest yesterday, like I did a little bit, and once I started feeling that I was kind of getting a little bit of a headache and all that, I'd said, no, lights off, straight into bed. Took that, like I said, 4 naps yesterday, and I think that's what really helped me today. And even last night I slept so good because I wasn't like getting obsessed with, I just need to sit here and get it done, because we'll end up sitting at the screen staring at it for an hour and you'll do nothing because you're just feeling so wiped.
It's absolutely horrible getting that sick when you work for yourself, right? Because you know when you're a little bit sick, you have a flu, right? It's grand. But I remember when I got that bad dose of the flu, like 4.5 weeks out last year, and I was up in the waiting room in the hospital, and I was doing like voice note check-ins on my phone. I had 2 phones in front of me, and I was trying to like do voice note check-ins. And I was sitting there, and I was like, I'm absolutely fucked here. And I was like, I could barely even string a thought together, let alone string a fucking check-in response together. And I got through it so slowly, only for I was waiting in that room for like fucking 5 or 6 hours. I wouldn't have got through the work. But like, it's horrible because you want to take a break, and you're like,
you need to, but you can't.
You don't have the head for this right now, but you still just can't. You still just can't take a break. Like,
you wake up, right, and it's like, am I going to get through today? How am I going to do this?
Yeah.
There's no sick days. There's no such thing. That's what people don't realize. There was one time, and I think it was last year, I don't know if you remember, Dara, when like I completely lost my voice.
Yeah, I do actually.
I've never experienced something like that before. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I still had to do check-ins, like, and I had to like whisper and have like to like be into the mic. So I
remember that. I remember you put some, I don't know, did you put up in your proper story or a private story, but I remember hearing the voice.
Crazy.
But Mark, your voice was gone for like 2 weeks, I'm sure, wasn't it?
Mate, crazy. But I remember, like, I don't really get sick, but that was one time. And another time, it was one of them where you can't even like open your eyes. You know, the way you're like just. And I remember I'd do a check-in, and then I'd have to lie down like you, Mike, for like half an hour, and then I'd like right, just get up, one more check-in, 5 minutes, and I do that for the whole day, and eventually got them done. But you have to get them done. And then what I would do as well is, if I was just doing messages or form videos and stuff or voice notes, I'd look at the videos, and then like I'd be lying down doing it, and then I'd close my eyes while I replied. I'd voice note, but I'd be closing my eyes because I couldn't even open my eye. Fucking crazy.
That's exactly what I did yesterday. Like, when I got majority of my work done, I kind of looked at what I needed to do in the laptop, and say if I had voice notes, I put the AirPods in, I was lying in bed, lights off, dark room, hear it, then obviously go off the Bluetooth so they actually hear my reply. Eyes closed, lying in bed, staring up at the ceiling. I did that for about probably an hour solid then as well, and it's the only thing that got me through it, I'd say.
So guys and girls, we will always, you never know what's going on. You never know if we're fucking lying in bed, absolutely dying. We're still getting back to you.
yeah, because it just has to get done no matter what. But yeah, there's been a few times, like not often, but just once or twice, where I've been so sick, and like you said, Mark, you're like, how am I going to get through the day today? I remember when I did get that flu as well last year, it was on like a fucking Tuesday or something. So I had like the whole week of check-ins ahead of me, and I was like, oh, this is going to be fucking sick, you know? And it was one of those sicknesses where I couldn't move. Like I could barely even stand up. Like I was just fucked. So
I
yeah.
think we are lucky that we get to work at our own pace then. But at the same time, if it was anyone else, they can just take the day off, sick day.
For a week off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
I'm currently on a defeed at the moment, boys. I woke up there 2 or 3 days ago, and I just text Hugo. It's just like, look, mate, everything is just fucking. I've been teetering at the red line for a while now, but it's all just going past that. Having really bad digestive issues, even after pulling the food back last 2 or 3 days. I'm waking up with like the worst cramps in my stomach, a really, really bad cramps, like, and they're staying for like I wake up and like first 30, 40 minutes of the day, I just have cramps in my stomach. So that happened to me actually. My stomach is just very prone to cramps. It happened to me in prep, like when I was a couple of weeks out, and I was like, you know, on peak week and stuff like that. I was getting these vicious cramps that were just waking me up in the middle of the night. They were staying for ages. So I don't know what the fuck happens with my stomach that I just get these cramps, pick up these cramps. But yeah, we've pulled back the food a little bit. Obviously, prep is starting in like what, 10 days. But I'm ready to go on Monday. Like I'm ready to just go now. Because I texted him, I was like, look, mate, where my sleep is at right now, with that, where that fucking carpal tunnel is at, where my gut is at, I'm just like, it kind of just, I know if I just stay here, trying to just like fucking beat a square peg into a round hole, it's just going to be negative feedback. Like, so just trying to suck it up now for the next week and a half. But yeah, it's just pointless, really.
I know. It's go on, Mark. Yeah.
What's your body weight at, Dara?
0.9 this morning.
Okay.
So it's dropped down a little bit. It's been weird though, because it's fluctuated quite a lot. And I think my scales at home might have been slightly off, different to what my scales was here. Because when I came back, nothing changed at all, and the body weight was like much less.
Mate.
So I was like, fuck's sake.
I don't go anywhere without bringing my own scales with me. My head is fucking gone.
I don't either, but my scales broke a while back, so I started using Chloe's scales. Yeah. And then I didn't want to bring that scales home. It's like, fuck that, you know, it's not my scales anyway. So I've ordered the scales off Amazon, so it'll be here tomorrow. Just like a new scales. I just got like a Bluetooth scale, so I have an app and it just automatically goes up to it. But yeah, I was in the bath, and obviously the bath that I have here, I'm just way too big for it, and the water like spilled over the back of the bath. So I have like where my unit is for the sink, in between the bath and the unit, there's a little gap, so I'd slide the scales in there. Do you get me? So it's not in the way. So I was in the bath and I was fucking splashing around the bath, and all the water went down into the scales and fucking ruined the things. It happened once before, and the scales was like a little bit funny for a day or two, and then it started working again. Second time I done it, it fucked it.
Keep an eye on that. But
that's why I ordered a new one, because I'm like, right, this is the prep scales now. Whatever this scale says, that's it.
Do you know what? It's as Mark said as well, to travel with it, because like I have my regular scales, but I got one of the mini travel scales. Do you know, it's like half the size of your foot, but obviously they read slightly different. There's like 0.3, 0.4. But then that's what I bring. So if I am traveling, I have that small little scales. Because I remember one of the lads was coming over here to me for a show, and he brought his big scales, and it was off that kind of tapered glass on it. When he landed, then it was smashed. It was just inside the bag. So that's why I got one of the little mini ones as well, just because it's like I put it in my little backpack.
He definitely didn't wrap it in the bag properly. Sorry to be a cynic, but some people pack their bags in a retarded fashion. Like, you wrap it around a fucking towel or something, so it doesn't smash in the middle of the suitcase. You know what I mean? Don't put it on top.
When I'm packing my bag, like I have, straight away I had this 2 kilo gone. My food scales and my body scales. So then I'm left with like 2 kilo less. And then you do all your supplements. So like by the time your bag is packed, you have like 5 kilo left for clothes.
I'm not one of these guys as well. Do you know, people like, I did it once or twice, but you know when people like do morning AM sups, PM sups, and they put all the pills into Ziploc bags and zip them all up and stuff. I just get a fucking shopping bag and throw all my tubs into it and just bring it with me, because there's so many fucking pills you have to take. It's a waste of time. I don't do that thing you do as well, but like, you know,
the holder, the little. I just have that. Like I have a travel one as well, so literally, so at least I have it. That is just in there, just less space, less. Like I know, like less weight. But Dara, you need to get on it. It is going to be the game changer.
Like, I am one of those
autistic is enough.
I am one of those real like autistically organized sort of person. Yeah. I'm like normally weird with those sort of things, but I'm just like, I actually think that fucking takes more time than it saves time, to be perfectly honest.
I timed it.
I'd rather
under 4 minutes. Under 4 minutes it takes me to do all my pills Monday to Sunday, AM, PM.
Wake up.
Pretty much, no. Like I literally, when I press the time, I'm rushing. It's just like it's like that OCD or autistic side where get it done as quick as you can. But honestly, 4 or 5 minutes tops it takes me on a Sunday morning.
I'll do in the evening time is I just take all the subs out of the press, right? I have a little cup. I put all the evening subs in, swallow them back, and then put all the morning subs in and put the cup in for
Is
the
it in a shot glass to remember your college days?
Not even a shot glass, just like a coffee mug. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I do. But yeah, I'm still battling daily, guys, with the pills in the morning and the gag reflux.
Is it still terrible? Oh.
It's annoying as well, right? Because like obviously, you know, when you want to start prep, you want to be starting prep like ego-wise at like your peak body weight, like just full as fucking on. I took my pictures yesterday, first time taking them here in like 3 weeks, and I could see obviously like coming on to week 4 on cruise, right? A little bit flatter, but I look leaner, like, but my weight has come down a little bit. But it's like I'm just, you know, you pull the food down slightly, or you know, have a couple off-plan meals over the Christmas. Like I think my body was just like, you know, just wants to go now. Like,
do you know when now you said you have your D-feed in? What has that pulled from peak calorie to current setup? And
I didn't work
thinking prep wise.
Didn't work out the calories, but he pulled it down quite a lot, right? So first day, he pulled like the carbs in my first meal completely. So that would have been 200 grams of sourdough bread, right? So like 200 grams of sourdough bread is like fucking fair whack of calories, nearly 500 calories in that. Like, and then we pulled 160 grams of rice and 100 grams of rice pudding. So like a nice chunk of carbs there gone from the day. And now today I have 100 grams of rice pudding for my first meal instead of the 200 grams of sourdough. And then I've got 100 rice pudding instead of 150 rice pudding. And then I've got 80 rice pudding instead of 130 rice pudding in the evening time. And my 2 rice meals are 75 grams instead of 130. So like
there's a nice little chunk gone in that, yeah.
40% gone. And on top of that, the honey is kind of gone from the meals, and it's like berries instead of like, you know, the raisins and banana and a lot of them as well. So yeah, I didn't work out the calories, but he's pulled it down quite a lot, you know. And my weight just instantly came down from like mid 115s down to like 114.9. You know.
I got a bit of a fuel bump today.
Did you? We're on 2 opposite ends of the spectrum, so.
Yeah, I checked in last week and they called me fat. I checked in this week and gave me a fuel bump.
You just don't know what you're going to get with them sometimes, Mac. Yeah, that's good. Okay, how many weeks into your push-up are you now?
I don't fucking know, mate. I know that we're going to reevaluate. I'm going to get bloods done the end of January and see. I think the push was meant to end like maybe the middle of February.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of which, did you see the Dubai show got moved to October 16th, 17th? So 3 weeks after the Olympia. So, yeah, interesting. Perfect timing for you, Mark, for what you were thinking about doing.
I know, mate. I'm like, I know by the end of February, I know, like, at the moment, I'm like around 125. And I've got leaner this week. A few's got bumped up again. So, like, I feel like I've made good progress. And I know the next couple of months I'm going to make more. So I'm like, I know after that first push how I'm going to respond into a preps. So I'm like, I don't want to fuck about like what I done last time and push it out longer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to have to see how the next month goes, have a chat with them, and then see how we can work the timeline. But I think it would need to be smarter for me to kind of push up maybe to like end of February, health phase, maybe start prep then like towards back end of April, middle of April, and then go what? May, June, July. Maybe compete end of July, August or so. I don't know.
Just have to wait and see. Just have to wait and see. Just fucking pick a show and just do it. But that's sick though that the boy show is after then, because I imagine they're going to probably up the prize money again. Let's be real. There's probably going to be like $250,000 prize money or something crazy like that. And everyone from the Olympia is just going to go out and do it this year for sure. Like do you think Samson, Derek, like Martin, like they're all going to do that show for sure? I think
definitely. Like when there's that much money like on board 100%. And you're in shape, ready to go.
Yeah, and as well, like realistically, all of those guys, like maybe not Martin, but like Hattie, Samson, Derek, Andrew Jack this year, like all them cunts, like they could be all flip flopping.
That's going to be a huge
whoever shows up 2 weeks apart, 3 weeks apart, they could all just move places, like, you know. So I think that'll be sick. Yeah,
you'll have to. you'll have to plan your if you're going to go to Dubai, Dara, you'll have to
I was
plan your
just
trip
going to say
over.
it.
Around
Mark, I
that
was just
now.
literally just going to say it, Mark. And I said it to Chloe as well. I was like, if we're going to visit Dubai, I said that's going to be the fucking week for sure. I'd love to go and see that show. It'd be sick because obviously there'll be no Olympia first this year, Mark. So we'll go to Dubai Pro instead.
I think it'll be pretty cool over here when that's on, in terms of like everyone passing through Dubai. I reckon a lot of them will train in Dungeon as well, so that'll be cool because I know Dungeon will close for the week. Like, as in, like, they only let members in and then pros.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
Pressure's on for me. So
Dean St. Martin is actually doing a seminar in Dungeon tomorrow.
was he
Or
nice?
Sunday. So
Very good. What's the seminar about?
I'm not sure, but I'm going. But we'll see. I'm not gonna miss that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Well, that's good now. That's sick.
Exciting. China Pro Show was on the end of July, I think. And if I end up prepping earlier, I may do that.
Mate, you're gonna be such the odd one out there. You're gonna see all these small little fucking chinks and towering above them all.
There's Adolf.
Yeah.
So I think he's thinking of doing that as well. So I think a few people will do it. So I think that would be pretty cool if I end up doing shows around that time. It'll be a group of people going. I'll just be the amateur side there. But,
I like your mindset, Mark, in being like, you know what, I'm going to do something different. I'm just going to go over to fucking Asia. I'm going to do a show over there because I think that's fucking sick. Like, I want to do that myself. Everyone does all the European shows and they're fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but like, there's a whole other world of bodybuilding out there that we don't see. Like the whole other side of the world, like it's mad big in Asia and like all these countries. Like, it's good to experience that.
I look at bodybuilding as well. Like, I will do these European shows, but like, I want to see the world. Bodybuilding is taking me places that I never thought I'd get to. So exactly. If I'm living here and I can get a fucking 7-hour flight to China,
you'd be mad not to do it when you have that.
Like, it's like dreams, you know what I mean? And doing what you love.
Yeah. You're in such a central hub now that, like, saying that Europe, 7-hour flight this way, 7-hour flight to China, like, you're bang in the middle to do both of them. Not like saying going from the UK, going, I have 20 hours to travel to get to China. Like, you're in such a good place to get all that done.
I think regardless of where you are, America is just going to be fucking hard for anybody to get to. It's just long. That's the only place.
I don't know. It's not too bad. It depends where you're going. Like, if you're going East Coast, it's not too bad from, like, Ireland, UK. It's like 8 hours max. Not even, like, sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, about 8 hours. It's about 8 hours, isn't it, to fly into like New York or something like that?
New York's from Ireland. It's 5.5.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it's 5.5, and then say Florida is, I think, 6 something. Like, they're not bad at all into the, like, that side of the east. It's like, obviously, like, for going West Coast, like, yeah, it's like 10 hours plus, isn't it, into Vegas, LA?
Where both of you, your favorite place that you've been, for whatever reason, but like your favorite place you visited, city or country,
like a city, or like just an actual place, or
just the first thing that comes to your mind, like a holiday or like a country or a city, or what's the first place that comes to your mind?
Like I was in, well, kind of in around California, but mainly San Diego in 2016. That was just like peak. That was just cool. Especially back then. I feel like the landscape was like just a little bit different. Like that was just before Trump got into office and Obama was still in term. Like, I just feel like, yeah, that was sick. San Diego is a great spot. So that was a pretty sick place.
Mine would be like similar to that. Like mine was like that 2017, like just Santa Monica, California vibe. It was just pure. That was when I was like proper, just getting really into like bodybuilding, fitness, and just seeing that, like over in Gold's Gym, seeing the likes of like all the pros in there. It was just like, that would have been peak. Just the vibe of seeing that kind of side of the world, and even in America, just how crazy some of the interactions are. Like, like when you play Grand Theft Auto and you see them people down the street,
all the
shouting stuff at you. Like, I remember walking down Santa Monica Beach and there'd be lads shouting crazy stuff at me, just whatever, and like you'd be terrified they pull a knife out or something as well. But
all the stereotypes, man, are exactly the same. Like what you think, like the token this person and the token that person is, like the token junkie down at the beach or the token homeless person. Like they're all exactly like you would expect them to be in films and in TV shows. That's what I kind of found wild over there, you know, because American, we think Irish people and they go, oh, leprechauns and this and this and that, you know. Like I remember when I was over there, I was working, they were asking us like, you guys have like YouTube over there? And I was thinking like, what? On the internet, of course we have YouTube. Like, where the fuck do you think you're living? Do you guys know Drake? Like, do you have McDonald's? I was like, what the fuck? Like, these Americans are off their head. Like, where do they think we're coming from? Like, you know, they've been watching the fucking Simpsons or something. It's like that episode of the Simpsons, you know. I think the piss out of Ireland. But
Mike,
yeah.
I remember that trip you went on. That was when you were after. Was that after a show or after a diet as well? And you done like the food. You just fucking ate everything.
Yeah, that was after a diet. That was like just before I started my first prep, and that was just literally. I remember one day renting a bike and like cycling. It was like doing 15,000 calories and just I was cycling from place to place.
I remember that, mate.
Oh, that was like peak vibes. It's just like that's when I could eat, like proper eat.
I remember I was the same. I did probably like my first ever serious cut. So I was 19, right, when I went on that holiday to America. It was just off the back of my second year of college. And I was obviously very into the gym still back then. And I remember I finished my exams at the beginning of May. And all my friends went to CIT. They didn't finish their exams until the end of May. So I had 3 weeks off before we went to America that they didn't. And I'd already been dieting since Rag Week. So Rag Week is like first or second week of February. So I'd been dieting like February to March, April, May. And then the end of it then, I got home, at 3 weeks off, no distractions, no drinking, none of that bollocks. Was eating like 2,100 calories a day. I was running 5 kilometers on the treadmill after every single session, right? Like 5-6 days a week, I was doing 5 kilometers on the treadmill. And I got absolutely fucking peeled. I was like 78 kg at the time. And I remember like that time my goal was in my head, I was like, right, I want to get as close to stage lean as I possibly can. I was never going to do a show. I was just prepping for a holiday, right? I'm peeled inside out. But that was my first time ever experiencing, especially as a natural, like how much dieting to that extreme low body fat fucks you up. Because I remember like, and obviously when you're 19, right, your fucking like hormones, sex drive, all that shit through the roof. I remember towards the end of that, didn't get an erection for like 6 weeks, right? Couldn't, like, because I was just, obviously my testosterone was just bottomed out. I was just eating such low food. I can remember going to bed absolutely starving, waking up in the middle of the night absolutely starving. Like that diet was actually probably the hardest diet I ever done in my whole entire life. Even my first prep wasn't as hard as that, because like I didn't really know what I was doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know like one of those boiling bag rices that you have? I had one of those between 2 meals throughout the day, and that was all my carbs. So I just had eggs, like an egg and egg white omelette in the morning time with some berries, and then I'd have 2 meals: chicken, peppers, broccoli, and half a bag of boiling bag rice. And then I'd Greek yogurt in the evening time with blueberries.
Wait, mentally, how easy was that? Not living in today's worlds where everyone is like, do this. You just fucking done it. And you went over thinking, you just done it.
Yeah. I just,
you know what? When you say that,
I was towards the end, I was like, right, I've got 3 weeks off now. And for me as well, because at that time, I was young, I was going out, I was drinking, I was still enjoying myself and stuff, but I still had training. But I remember when I got home, I was like, unreal. Everyone's still down in Cork. I'm away from everyone now. I'm away from the session. There's no fear of missing out. There's no me getting sucked in. There's no peer pressure. I was like, I'm going to lock in now for these 3 weeks. And I just was like, tunnel vision. I want to get as peeled as I possibly can. And I'm just going to do as much as I possibly can. So that's why I ended up doing like 5 kilometers on the treadmill, because I was just like, right, just losing this weight. And I just kept the diet where it was at. But like, I remember the hunger was like fucking next level. I was killing my mother at home. I was snapping at her and she was fucking going mad, you know. And I was trying to explain to her, like, Mom, I'm on really low calories here, but she just didn't get it, you know. But yeah, I'll never forget that, man. I'll never forget that. But I got fucking peeled. Then I got over to America 2 weeks later as fast fuck. So that was a lesson.
It happens. That's what American can do to you.
I ate all around me, lads, and obviously drinking every single day. Then it was one extreme to the other. I remember being very depressed. So I went over there, and 2 weeks later, I was like, I've actually got 0 abs. Literally in 2 weeks, I went from being in the best shape of my life ever to literally the worst shape of my life ever in 2 weeks. Probably even less than 2 weeks. Like, I'm not joking. Like, that was the fattest, softest I had ever been, even before I started training, after 2 weeks.
Yeah. People say, don't worry, you can't undo, all that. You fucking can.
Oh.
Yeah. Post-diet, the couple of weeks post-diet are the most crucial period. You need to get through the first 6 to 8 weeks post-diet, otherwise you're fucked.
I always say, do not fucking go away. It is even when I have clients dieting for like a holiday and stuff,
You'll do
I will
horrible.
try and reverse them for a week or two before, just to
Same.
pull some of that food focus away.
Yeah.
The last thing I want is to just. They're like, the last week they're like, let's push things this week. Let's push harder. I'm like, no, let's pull back, because if you push, you're just gonna fucking eat everything when you get there.
Yeah. It comes with experience. You get you're dying the whole way up into the holiday. You get to the fucking airport, boom, you're straight into Burger King. Do you know what I mean?
It's going.
You're literally going.
Yeah, no, like as Mark said there, but like I've been caught a few times with clients who might have done a photo shoot, and when the photo shoot's done, they're like, I had one guy before say to me, he did a show, and then after the show he goes, oh, we're actually going to the airport tomorrow, we have a holiday booked, never told me. And you're that kind of way, is like, I have nothing prepared with this, and you're like, oh my god, because this was your first show, you do not know what you're getting yourself into.
The dumbest thing ever, isn't it, booking a holiday after?
But you can see when people, like, you think like you'll be fine. Like when you do your first diet, like when you've done that diet going to America, Dara, you probably thought the same. Oh, I'll eat a little bit, I'll be fine. Like, do you know that kind of way? I've done it as well. Like,
The kid everything is as well, right? You're 19 years old. Like, I went on 2 family holidays ever. Like, my parents, like, we weren't like people who went on holidays every single year or whatever, right? The 2 family holidays we went to, what it was, like budget hotel in Salou sort of thing for a week, right? So like, I didn't really see much of the world. I didn't get out much, like I'd go on holidays. We didn't go on trips. We didn't fucking leave Finland, right? So I go over to America at 19. And I'm like, oh my God. And back then as well in Ireland, you didn't have all the fast food places you have now.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot more available now in Ireland, but back then there wasn't. There was just McDonald's, Burger King and KFC, and that was it. I went over there and I was like, look, oh my God, this is like this fucking fast food place I've seen in Christian Guzman's video, and this is this and this is that. So you just want to eat everything. You want to try everything, and everything is there. There's like a row, there's a street, and it's just fast food after fast food after fast food after fast food, just everywhere.
Do you know as well? Like, just like I'd say you'd be kind of similar, or definitely Mark would be. I'd say when I got to America or any country I go to, one of my favorite things to do is to go into a supermarket and just walk up and down the aisles and just see the variety of different types of foods they have. Like, I was like in my element in America. I went into a Vons, which would be like in California, it's the equivalent to like a Tesco, that kind of way. And it was like the best experience I had was just going up and down the aisles, just looking at everything they had.
Dara, how long did we spend? Remember we went to Walmart? So,
Yeah.
How long did we spend? It must have been 2 hours.
I made ages in there.
We just
and it's so funny because we walk around. Oh, do you see they have this? Do you see they have that? Mark would be saying this to me, and I'd be saying this to Mark. Oh, see this? Look at this! Look at how I got. Where'd you get that? I get that. And then like you look at so much shit, and then you just end up getting. You don't end up
usual stuff you get anyway.
Yeah. You're like, oh, that looks unreal, but no, I can't have that. I'm just gonna stick to my plan here. So
it's just cool to see different places and different things, just stuff that you don't usually see.
Yeah. I remember I was at, I think I went the year Stranger Things came out as well. And that's when 11 was eating Eggos. And I remember getting over to LA and seeing Eggos. And I was like, I have to try these now, that kind of thing. And I was just like overwhelmed by like 30 different flavor choices. You're kind of like, fuck me, how do they have so much things, all this variety?
That's the biggest mental thing, isn't it? It's like you just go, oh, I'll get a packet of Oreos. You go down the Oreo section and you're like,
There's about 200 of them.
There's 20 different fucking variations of Oreos and collabs with this and collabs with that. And you're thinking, what the fuck? So, yeah, it's no wonder they're all fucking fat cunts over there.
Remember, I went to New York, and it was after one of my shows. I forget what year. Actually, it was for my 21st. So I was like maybe 6 weeks after a show, and I controlled reverse actually very well, for a junior, for them days, I was like, okay, I've done well here. And them 4 or 5 days in New York just ruined my whole off season. That's literally, I controlled it so well, and then 4 or 5 days, there's no coming back.
I was just there this morning, right? Because obviously Chloe's back from Australia now. So like there's those not even fitness, there's those female vloggers or whatever she watched. And she was watching a video this morning, someone and her boyfriend in New York, right? They're going to all these food places and stuff. And anytime I've ever seen anyone like vlog their trip to New York or whatever, New York is one of those spots where if you go there, it's all about the food. It's all about the famous pizza place, the famous bagel place. Like I feel like you can't go to New York and not get sucked into like the food scene there because it's such a big thing, right? And it would be a shame to go to New York and not try all of those famous kind of things, So yeah, a little bit of it has to be done, but not not that soon post show. But yeah, I think getting around is good, Mark. I think Asia will be different kettle of fish as well. Like, I'm absolutely fascinated by like Asian culture. Like, I love Asian culture. Like, I can't wait to get over to that side of the world and do a bit of traveling around there, because I just think the Asians are just, I don't know, just their way of living is just way better than some people.
It's they're so happy with the bare minimum. Is
Man,
what you like what you see, and it's actually kind of we take everything we take for granted. It's crazy. Like, that's
so happy. They're so disciplined. They're so polite. They're like, you know, everything's very orderly as well, which I like. They're just, I don't know, there's just different, like, people over.
I couldn't live somewhere like that at this stage of my lifestyle. I could maybe in my later years, but I think now you need to, like, I need to be in that environment of, it's too laid back.
Okay.
There's nobody really has that drive, or that, like, they're happy just kind of plodding along.
Depends where you go, mate. If you're in fucking Japan, or you're in fucking Shanghai, or you're in any of these cities, it's complete, like, different.
But that's the thing. Like, as you said, like, Mark, with that, what it is like, that's what when I was over there, and like even the Philippines too, it's so chilled, laid back. Like, every day you kind of, there's no plan. You wake up and be like, what we do say, we'll see, and they're just so happy just to get on with it. Whereas if they live there, you can see why so many people do go to Thailand, Philippines, all them places to retire, like, say in their 50s, 60s, because it would be such a chilled kind of place and environment to be. Obviously as well, price wise. I not saying that I'm like planning on doing it, or we haven't planned on doing it, but like, to retire into a country, like if you want to retire into the Philippines, like, all you need is a pension that pays $1,000 a month, or is it 15 or 18,000 in savings, and you'll get lifetime residency. Like, it's that easy to retire, like, in them countries.
Mental, yeah. Obviously, it's different for all different countries, because I know, like, in Thailand, it's just kind of hard enough, like, residency wise, and I know in a lot of those Asian countries as well, you can't buy houses there. Like, they have rules against that. So otherwise, like, the places would just be fucking completely overrun, like, with Westerners, like, wouldn't there? But yeah,
I like just seeing how different people and cultures operate. Just
watching people watching. Yeah.
Even over here, the way there's so many different lifestyles. I just look at people, and I just analyze. It's just interesting. Like, you wonder where they come from. You know, you wonder sometimes what language they're speaking, because you don't really know. It's mad. And then you start overthinking. You're like, languages are just like noises coming out of someone's mouth.
yeah.
I don't know.
It is. It's one of those things, like, when you start thinking about space or something like that, and you're like, fuck. Do you know? Like,
you get a right rabbit hole when you get down in that.
You're on the session. It's fucking 5 a.m, bag of cat deep, and you're thinking like, oh, space, oh, the fuck, and you're tripping out.
Oh God! So what's on the agenda for the men today? Rest days, training day. Well, like, Mark, you're a few hours ahead. Were you training?
I have rest day today. I have training Saturday, Sunday. I trained legs yesterday with Kevin Stutz. Really good session.
Good stuff.
My legs were absolutely fucking wrote off. So this frequency is hard, I tell you. But do you know what? It's also kind of taught me as well, that I think we're all pussies nowadays. Because I can't remember the last time my legs weren't sore, but they're fucking definitely grown.
Yeah, 100%.
And maybe me a few months ago, maybe I'd be like, maybe I'm overtraining my legs right now, because they're still sore nearly going into sessions. But my numbers are moving forward. My legs are definitely the biggest they've been in a while. So it's interesting just analysing how it's going.
Yeah, again, I think you can probably get too fucking in the weeds with thinking about training frequency, thinking about training volume, thinking about recovery, thinking about fatigue, etc., etc. I think fatigue management is important, yes, and it's definitely more important than a prep. But, like, fucking hell, I think, like, you just kind of need to fuck around and find out, don't you? Like, just fuck around and find out.
Mate, I witnessed something nuts yesterday, right? Like, this just, right.
Ali.
Just listen to this, right? We were training legs, and it was me and Kevin, and then Ali and Sammy were starting as well. So we're all training legs. And we were on the leg extension together, and then we veered off. He done different leg press and stuff, but their session was really long. Ours was pretty long as well. And I was eating my post-workout and stuff, right? And then I walked back upstairs, and he was loading up the 5 plates on the hammer chest press, Ali. And I started laughing. I was like, he spotted him, and he put his sleeves on. I was like, what are you doing? He was like, oh, I don't know. These lads were trying to upper, so like, I'm just going to try and upper. Mate, he just done a 4-hour long leg session, and then went and done upper, incline hammer 5 plates. Like,
Nothing.
I don't understand what I witnessed, but it was fucking crazy.
Yeah. And like, look at the size of him. And he just does it because he wants to. He just does it because he can.
He just done it. He just loves it.
Lads, actually, speaking of mad shit, did you see the slides of training footage Samson put up yesterday on Instagram?
I didn't scroll through them now, I'll be honest, because
go and look at them, right? There's just the first, all the slides, but the first slide is just him like bending over the bench, right? And he's leaning over, he's got his elbows on his knees, and the fucking size of his shoulders and his arms and everything else like that. Just go on to it. It must be
that one there, like
that one there. Oh my God. Absolutely crazy. And just slide through those like reels or whatever the fuck, and you're just going to see him like he's doing cable crossovers, and then he's doing like just a one arm like ladder raise.
One raise, yeah.
Absolutely humongous.
Dean comments, looks like you may have started supplementing with intramuscular helium.
Yeah, but that's what it looks like. It's
crazy,
pretty wild. Who just going to go at supplements?
And I know my protein.
You think, yeah, I know he was touring around their factory, but I'm like, oh, is he really going to go with my protein? Come on, they're wank.
Money talks.
Yeah.
And they have the money to kind of fill his pockets.
And then Fuad then, like, in his fucking news channel going, I don't know who Samson's going to go with, but whoever he goes with, it's going to be somewhere that he loves the products. I'm like, okay, Fuad, yeah, I'm sure. Ching.
Yeah.
You can't blame him. I do the same thing in his shoes, especially when you're Samson, right? And you're fucking broke up until the age of 35, 36.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck it was. And you're building and you're out fucking labouring and you're doing absolute grunt work for the majority of your life. And then boom, you're just
hit the big time, just fucking secure the bag.
Plus, mate, he could have been making a lot more money the past few years. He was very loyal.
Very loyal. Yeah.
So it's nice to see. But he looks massive. Fucking huge.
He really does. Do you know what? I was actually having a conversation, right? I might just bring this up. I think it might be a good topic. I was having a conversation with Chloe Pickford post-workout in the gym yesterday, right? And she was training with Naz recently in the gym. And we're just going on about that session and stuff like that. And you're just saying, oh, Naz is fucking such a good guy, like super humble, really good representative for the sport. And we were just saying how I think he's going to fucking win the Olympia. Like, he's got great potential. I hope he does win the Olympia, etc., etc. And then we were talking about how if you look at other countries, the Brazilians, for example, right? And you look at like how revered the athletes are in Brazil, and they're basically celebrities. You look at Hadi and Moran and all this other stuff. Why is it that like in the UK, the likes of Brian Terry or Samson or any of these guys, nobody gives a fuck about them? Only bodybuilders. I think it's terrible. Like if you were like a Team GB athlete, whatever, like a Team GB sprinter or something, you'd be all over the news, you'd be on all the chat shows, you know, all this other sort of stuff. You'd have a lot of people looking up to you, etc. But it's just not like that with bodybuilding in this country or in Ireland or in a lot of places with Europe. It's still frowned upon.
Is it any chance, because like when you're like, I'm just thinking out loud with this, is because if we look at like, say, the national sports in the countries, like obviously I know Brazil is big into football now as well, but like UK here, they're going to obviously put football number one, they're going to have their cricket, they're going to have all this stuff. Like, where do we actually fall in? The same in Ireland, like GA, are we looked at differently because of the national sports?
I know you can make that argument, Mike, but it's MMA wasn't really a thing in Ireland, and then Conor McGregor blew it up, and now MMA is like the thing in Ireland. Do you know what I mean? It's like
I just think, but honestly, I love Ireland, I love the UK. I just think it's the mindsets of people are different.
Because look at it this way, Mike, okay?
Yeah.
Right. Let's take fucking fencing, okay? an Olympic sport, right? Fencing, fastest sport ever. Sorry to any fencers who might be watching this podcast, okay? But let's say some fucking young one or some young lad in Ireland won fencing gold medal at the Olympics. They'd be on the fucking news. They'd be on every chat show all of a sudden. Fencing isn't big in Ireland, isn't popular. No one gives a fuck about fencing. But they would be like revered. Oh, isn't this the fucking fantastic thing? This is great. Look at this person. You know, they're the best in the world at fencing. Ryan Terry Sampson, best in the world of bodybuilding, fucking huge. You know, I know it's not the biggest sport. It's bigger than fucking fencing, most likely. I don't know. But there's still no...
There's no exposure, and like,
No
is
exposure at all.
it going to be like as well? Obviously, like the voodoo side of the drug taking.
The drugs.
Like that's going to be
Mindset.
100% what the government is sensitizing to. When like Eva won her pro card, she got in the national papers, but it was like a small little article on it. But that's as far as they'll go. Like, you know, if you do something like that, that's all I remember with it.
Eva is a bikini athlete. She's not an open bodybuilder.
True, it's not going to be.
People that look at Eva and they're not going to think like, oh, open bodybuilder, fucking running a load of gear, scary sort of thing. Like, do you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
I think what you have to realize is, even in Ireland, in more mainstream sports, people will support people for doing well, but they're waiting for something to happen. Like, if you look a few years ago, mate, Conor McGregor, Ireland could not talk better about him. Now everyone just tears him down. Everyone in Ireland tears him down.
He's kind of a bad example because obviously he doesn't help himself. But yeah, I get it.
But mate, look what he's achieved. You can't, like, how can you go from loving someone to all of a sudden just? Yeah, maybe it's a bad example, but I don't know. I just think
I get you, but
yeah, no, we know where you're coming from.
But I just thought, like, you know, like we were having this conversation, and I just think like it's a shame, really. It's a shame, you know.
It's a shame because of like even people that are like just getting in for health reasons into going to the gym are technically bodybuilding as well. Like, you know, it is people bettering themselves, and like it's probably one of the fastest growing things. Like the amount of, like, as we talked previously in the podcast, the amount of new gyms popping up and are busy. Do you know that kind of way? Like, it shows the demand for it is there.
Yeah, I think in countries like Brazil, in Iran, like just in them international countries, like. The people look like they take real inspiration from the athletes. And, you know, they kind of strive for that as well.
I think in those countries as well, it is kind of like the rags to riches sort of stories too. You know, the likes of Ramon and Hadi and stuff, because they're all poor and they don't have that much. They see people doing well in any sport. It obviously elevates them, and they kind of think, oh, I could potentially do this. It's inspiration, right? Same as Conor McGregor. He's poor, grew up in Crumlin, and then boom, you know, that's why he was so hyped when he kind of made it. But yeah, it's just the lack of understanding around bodybuilding, and just the way there's no discussion about drugs, and everyone's just quick to jump down the throat and go, yeah, you take steroids, you're unhealthy, or, you know, you're going to die because you take steroids. And it's just like, there's so much nuance to it. Like,
I think that was perfect phrase there, lack of understanding. I think that's all it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how can you make people understand or help people understand? There's not really, you know.
No,
it's not like you're going
to try and do my best. Fucking by the time I die, I'll try and do my best. That's for sure.
Like, do you know, it's like Naz getting that now. Like, do you know, someone else got such a high place. Like, say someone came third in the Olympics, they'd probably get an invite back to their primary school and, you know, talk about where they are. But like in bodybuilding, they wouldn't give that exposure to someone. Like, how did you achieve this? Do you know, that kind of like that's where we probably have that kind of, like, the lack of understanding really stands true.
You're one of the top 5 bodybuilders in the world. Like, you're an incredible athlete from a work ethic perspective, and just from like the genetic gifts that you've been given. Like, you're in such a small percentage of everybody in the world, regardless of what fucking sport you do. You know, so like anyone who's at the top of the game in any sport, I don't care what sport it is, should be celebrated in some way, you know. But it's just a shame that, like, with bodybuilding, it's not for probably the reasons that are all the drugs or this or this or that, you know. People just, because of the drugs, they completely disregard all the time, effort, dedication, hard work, and everything else that goes into it. It's just that it's a shame, really. And
I think as well, if you're bodybuilding, I think when people see it, they see it. So straight away they'd be like, oh, they use anabolics. But like fair enough, okay, that's not healthy, whatever. But what about, you know, every second person down just taking every drug under the sun on the weekend, but behind closed doors that aren't really public about it. Like, why is it okay for that, but why is it not okay for us if we're both affecting our own health by choice?
Yeah, it's just the societal norms. It's just the way the status quo is.
Yeah, and like it's as you said, it's like complete lack of understanding and looking down on it. Like you, Mark would have said there, it's like if someone sees a picture of like, say, like someone looks at Naz here in the UK and goes, "Oh, he's top 5 in physiques." They look at it and goes, "Sure, if I took steroids, I could look like that."
Yeah,
But the difference with the sports is that if you look at it like a top footballer, no one is looking at a Harry Kane or someone like that saying, "Sure, if I did whatever, I'd be as good as him." It's just they can pinpoint steroids and think that is got you all your success. Like we said, they don't know the work ethic. Like if you look at Naz, like the work he'll put in, his everything he does in his routine, day to day, like nothing changes. As you said, he's probably one of the nicest, most humblest guys you come across. And
I
he works his ass
genuinely
off.
think he's going to win the Olympia as well. It might not be this year coming, but it could very well be next year. Because you know how it is. You kind of got to earn your stripes. You know, Ramona's been up there. Ramona's been 5th. He's been 4th. He's been 2nd twice. And then he was 4th again.
And
And
he got it, yeah. And like that, like he's going to be knocking, like he should be knocking top 3 at least, you know, like you're saying potentially in this year. And like if he's going to win it, like I'd see a big chance with definitely within the next 3 years, like within the 3-year window, he could have that done.
Yeah, I think so as well. I personally kind of see him 3rd or 4th this year, to be honest. I think he'll probably maybe pass out Yozama. And to be honest, guys, like I know everybody loves Terence Ruffin, but like
it's going to run. It's like it's going to run its course like eventually because like you know like he's been there and it's not really going in that direction. Like you know like when he was on, then he was dropping places. Like it's like was it Brion? Remember when Brion was there? Like and he was kind of there, but then he started sliding.
Well, this was actually Brion's first year ever outside the top 5. So the Classic Olympia has been going for 10 years now, 9 or 10 years. And that was his first time ever outside the top 5. And he's done every single one of them. So, I mean, you know, he only just really properly slipped this year. But I think that was kind of like a message, not a message, but, you know, that was kind of like, all right, it's kind of your time, you know, the new guard are kind of coming on.
Yeah.
The thing about Classic is as well, guys, it could be just some other freak that fucking pops into the top 5, top 6 next year, you know?
That's the thing is like people are cropping out in anywhere now these days. Like someone's gonna pop up this year who no one expects.
Yeah.
Don't forget Jack as well.
Jack as well.
This year will be a big step up.
I think this year is going to be a huge step up for him. I think like with Kyle coaching him and just with the approach they're going to take, it's definitely going to be a lot better than the approach he would have took before in the past, which is, all right, let me get all this body fat off in like fucking, I think the longest prep he ever done was like 12 weeks or something like that. So, you know, now that he can take his time, he can come down nice and slowly and like he can, I think he's going to look a hell of a lot fresher.
I think he obviously still needs more muscle to be like cracking a top 5 of the Olympia, which will come. Honestly, it will for Jack, I think, but it's going to be a lot better this year. And I think a lot of people will be like, oh shit, right, this is
exactly.
It'll
come all right though, because like his commitment and his execution in terms of everything he does, like especially for someone so young, he's a proper professional, like in the way like he goes about doing things. So he will get there for sure. But man,
again,
it was quick, like
a super nice guy as well, which is it always makes it that bit better, doesn't it? When someone's just so fucking nice
and humble as well. Like he's not fucking in over his head, you know. Wins a couple of shows and thinks he's the fucking God's gift to bodybuilding. Like, there is a lot of fellas out there like that these days as well. Like, so at least he's not one of those.
But you got to realize at some stage, everyone loses their muscle.
Yeah, and if you're a prick, that'll always follow you around.
What happens if you lose your muscle? Like, it doesn't matter what fucking show you won at 2020.
Yeah, that's very true, actually, Mark. Yeah, geez, I better stop being a prick. So fucking hell, I better stop bullying lads off pieces of equipment in the gym.
Hey, now when you're in there and you're in your 50s, you'll have them young fellas come up. Look at this old fucking geezer thinking he's
yeah. I'll be up trying to give him advice and say, "Who does this fucking old cunt think he is?"
And then they'll be like, "Back in my day."
Yeah.
Well, do you know what you're saying there about advice? I had that in the gym the other day. There's a few lads, as I said, I'd be chatting away to, but like, I've been able to, like, one or two of the lads, like, they'd come in, one guy wrote his own program, showed me his logbook, and like, he had these sets of like that kind of like, a bit of like, he'd be in his 40s and he's just trying to get himself into shape, but he's really interested in bodybuilding. And he's kind of had his like chest press, it was like 4 sets of 6 to 10, you know, that kind of way. And it was that kind of old programming. It's on about getting stronger. And like, then when I was giving him advice by saying, you have this exercise, you're going to be going into 4 sets of this and you're trying to get stronger. Like, let's pull this back a bit. Like, and when you're warming up, what do you do? Oh, I do 12 reps as my warm up, and then I'll do maybe 10. And I'm just on about, like, obviously completely fatiguing yourself, going pre-fatigue and be through the roof. And even there with his form, I was kind of telling him, like, when he did his chest press, like, he was kind of like, you know, when you're up a little bit higher here, and I'd send in, like, yeah, drop your shoulders, like, rotate in. And the way he actually took it all on board, you know, when you can actually give that advice to someone, they take it on board. And then the message after he finished the session, he's like, thanks so much for all of that stuff. You know, like, that's what I love as well about that thing, is when someone actually, when you can actually give advice to someone.
When they drop the ego, pretty much.
Yeah, and they'll take it on board. And like, straight away, because then he trained then, like, obviously I've been out sick, so I haven't seen him since. He trained yesterday and he sent me a picture of his logbook with all the rep ranges completely changed from going away from that 4 by like 6 to 10, 8 to 12, and like changing all that up and saying that, like, I felt like, he goes, I've more, like, I don't feel as fatigued finishing the session, but I felt it was 10 times better. Do you know, like, these are things that we like as well. Like, you don't have to coach everyone, like saying, like, not like I coach this person or anything, but it's good to be able to give advice in shoot like that. And like, you know, I come away from them sessions then as well going like, he's learned something and he's going to actually enjoy his training now the next few months and progressing through that manner. Like, that's such a big thing, I feel, as well with us.
Yeah, more often than not, the advice most people need to hear, and it's the advice I give a lot of my clients a lot of the time, is drop the load, mate. That's too heavy for you. And people hate to hear it. What do you mean it's too heavy? This is moving fine. I'm doing this for this many reps, blah, blah, blah. But like you said there, Mike, right? When he's doing that chest press, shoulders, right? Like, I see that a lot. I was training with clients as well when I was back home for Christmas. There's one thing I was cueing one of my clients Stuart with, right? Was that he's just pressing too aggressively out of that hole. It was all front delt, right? He wasn't keeping his chest up. It wasn't pressing through his chest.
Yeah.
And then he had to drop the load back considerably in order to kind of really nail that down. And then he texted me like a day or two later and was like, we were actually in the gym training, a day or two later. He's like, the fucking DOMs in my chest today, I've never had anything like it. You know, so
you know, they're little things as well, like, because when you do it so long, because like, I had another one of the lads in our gym, and he was on to me, he goes, oh, I can see you're Smith inclining like 3.5 plates and all this kind of, I'd love to get there someday. I'm stuck on this, I'm struggling, I can't connect my chest. And I was kind of doing a chest fly, and I was like, call me when you're doing your top set and let me just watch. I'll stand back and watch. And when he went into it, his whole thing was, when he was into it on the incline, he had his head up, his head into his chin like this, his traps lifted up through there. And straight away when he's doing, he done his set. I let him do it because obviously it was his top set. And when he came, I took the plates off it. I said, do one plate aside. And once he sat into it, he went straight back in, the head in like that, and the traps raised. Put my hand in his forehead, pushed it down. I said, open out your chest. And then the difference he's made, like, he said, he went home and he goes, fuck me now. Like, do you know something so simple like that? Like, you could cue someone in, and like you're saying, Dara, as well, like people like that, like, you can drop the load, get that form in place. Like, yeah, there is like, it's kind of a conversation a lot of people will have, is like intensity over form. Like, you know, like, I seen a guy put up a story now here down in Cork, and he had his training clients, and he's like, I pick intensity over form. And like, I've seen the dirtiest reps I've ever seen. And I was kind of like,
here's the nuance, right? It's like, is the guy who trains harder in the gym going to build more muscle than the guy who trains like a pussy but has perfect form? Yes. However, right, that might serve you well for your first year or two in the gym. Then you get to a stage, right, where you've got massive arms because all your pulls, you're pulling through your bicep.
Over. Yeah.
You've got massive shoulders because all your presses, you're pressing through your chest, right? So yeah, you're bigger than the dude with the perfect form, but if you keep training like that, you're just going to be balanced. You're going to be balanced. You're going to have small glutes and hamstrings with big quads, right? You're going to have big shoulders and arms with a small chest. How often do we see these guys?
That's
right?
it.
Put name names, I won't, but you know.
Yeah, but I'll even take it for myself. Like, I grew huge delts with a shit chest. I would have been like that. Whereas 2-3 years ago, I pulled back on my chest. Now my chest is very strong as well, because I took that on board, and I called myself out on how I was pressing like that. And that's what I'm trying to do with a lot of my clients now as well. When I see them, I'm trying to tell them, I can see it going, you're developing what I had. And I said, this is what I did. And then when they take it on board, because it's getting that balance, like, as you said, like 10 years down the line, the guy with the perfect form, like, is getting that balance. Like, yeah, you can send it a little bit. Like, we all have exercises we enjoy to send. Like, you have to have that balance of like enjoyment within our training too. But
I think, like,
Go on.
build the good habits first and then layer the intensity on. I think like when you first start training in the gym, right, just go in there and train hard. Then refine the form and then layer the intensity back on top of it. Like I kind of think that's the way you kind of need to go. But I think we might have had this conversation before on this podcast, or maybe I had
In a similar one at least. Anyway.
on a separate podcast where it's like, you know, I think it was on a different podcast I was on where I might mention this. It was the one with Neil, actually, with Neil Rennie. I was saying that like, you know, with all the knowledge that you know now, would you go back and would you have trained different when you started? And it's like, well, no, because I couldn't train with low volume and high intensity and good form and execution when I first started training because I hadn't learned how to do those things. You get me? I needed more volume at the start to grow more because I wasn't as accurate. And the only reason I learned to be more accurate was because I was doing lots of repetitions and I was getting better. So like, that's when I'm coaching clients as well. I have to understand sometimes if someone is a beginner and look at their execution clips, I'm not going to be really, really anal with the form because I know that like, no matter what I say, it's not going to be perfect because they just need to do more reps, do you know? And they just need to build the skill.
I think what people can mistake from that though is, I think going in and just learning how to train hard, yes, but we're not saying to disregard your form. Like, have your form good, have full range of motion, use weight that you can handle, but don't get so hyper focused on the little tweaks and adjustments here and there. But I would say, because for me, I train very hard, but for me, now my joints aren't thanking me for that because range of motion was sacrificed sometimes. Sometimes I was handling weight that was too heavy and it was loading my joints a lot. So I think full range of motion and then learning how to train hard, but not overthinking the little bits that maybe people more advanced may be talking about.
Yeah, and like even if people seen us train and seen some of our sets, oftentimes they'd look at that and they're not really training that hard. That kind of looks easy, but internally, again, how we're controlling that weight, how accurate we're being, what that feels like. And just because I'm not fucking bobbing my head forward and back and screaming and roaring and shouting on the leg press doesn't mean I'm not in fucking pain.
Do you know what they're not seeing though? They're not seeing that 3 minutes between the sets. Like, we're not uploading a 5-minute video of what we're like coming off a leg press. Like, if I do my pendulum and if I let that play on for the next minute and a half, me getting myself up, catching my breath back, like, that's when you'll see the true intensity of someone's training. Like, watch how people get off their machines. That's how you tell how hard someone trains.
Yeah. And also, I feel when someone is a bit more advanced, I think in person is completely different. So, like, if Dara, I'm training with you and I see you doing a set, it looks way different to what it does in the video. You know, even I was doing an overhead extension the other day, and there was a guy in there, and I just asked him to pass the weight up to me. And I recorded the set, and in the set, it just looks so easy. You know what I mean? But I finished the set, right? And he looked at me and goes, your intensity is crazy. Because when he's looking at my face and my control during that set up close, he can see that. But on a video, it just looks fucking very, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's something I've learned by watching bigger guys train, stronger guys train, that like in person, you can see the muscle contract, you can see the intent. Even in through video, it may look pretty easy to them.
I mean, like, look, if you want to doubt any of our training intensities, come and do a session with us.
I always say that. Just, I'm like, if you think I'm not training hard, if you think there's something wrong with my training, that's fine. I can deal with that, but come train with me.
Yeah. I look, fuck, the results talk at the end of the day anyway, don't they?
So what? Oh.
No, you're just muted yourself.
Fuck's sake, there we go. You was training today?
Rest day for me. So I'm training, same as you, Mark. I'm training over the weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm in that dilemma of, I feel good today. Do I go back today and do I kind of give it a little bit of a...
Do you know what, mate? When I'm sick, right? And I got this from Cuba always says this as well. It's like the first day that you feel like you're back good, rest again.
Yeah.
The day after, and that's always served me very well.
I know,
because I feel like if you eat up today, tomorrow you'll wake up and you know when that you can feel the muscle pushing against the skin again, and then you'll be like, right.
Yeah, full day of meals in, full day of water in, another full day of rest, and then tomorrow you'll be fucking.
Like, that's what I was kind of humming and hawing. So when I woke up this morning, I didn't expect to see the metrics as good as they were. Like, resting heart rate is back into the low 60s. Like, that was up in the 80s, like 82 to 79 last few days. Now it's 61. So that's what my whole thing is. I have the barbers 11 o'clock. So normally what I do is like now is like I book the barbers at like 11. So I go there and then it's 10-minute drive to the gym goes. So I go from the barber straight to the gym. But now I'll just get that done. Might get good old McDonald's Americano on the way back. We have to rate them. Do we all rate that?
Have to rate them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Great coffee, McDonald's.
Get the meals going. And like if it's another rest day, is Mark's favorite one, rest day salmon in place.
That's my next meal.
Oh, that's what I need to run over and get some now as well. But no, that's what I'll do. I'll take the advice of the men. You won't see any training clips from me today then.
Good.
So,
Or we'll be in your DMs. What are you doing, mate?
I know. There's after a podcast there and you'll see this thing gone up now of me doing an upper day with trying to load 3 plates onto what God knows what. But no, makes sense. I'm just going to make sure I'm 100% and I'll ease myself in because like tomorrow is meant to be legs then as well because like you know the way I want to keep my routine. So like I'll get in with that, just devolume it, rest on Sunday and like officially back on Monday then.
It is good to go in like that then, because if you do go back in, you do the volume session, then you have another rest day. It's just kind of like pushing out that recovery period, you know? Because if your vitals are only just back good again today, it's like it could go back the other direction just as quick as
I know, you could send it very, very quickly in that direction.
Yeah.
But that's it. Take advice from the men now. They know as well. We've all been there.
Yeah, for sure.
Next week, we have to do question boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll all put them up, right?
We'll put
Every
them up,
single one of them. Right into the chat. Remind me to do it. We'll all put them up. We'll all put them up in time as well. Put them up whenever they're recording.
Or whatever,
4 hours beforehand and just try and get a good questions.
We're going to have to do something different. Maybe even potentially next Monday. My mum and dad are over this next weekend. So we may have to rejig and maybe try get one done in a few days again and put it out the weekends.
Yeah, that's all good.
No problem there.
All good. Let me know anyway. But yeah, and we'll actually have to get a couple of guest episodes in as well at some stage. So
I don't know. I like our tree. I don't like people. They have to better be good people.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They better be.
Do we have to keep it to the Irishness as well? It's a Celtic cast first. We have to have a first Irish guest, and then we can venture out.
Yeah. We don't have to, but we'll see.
We'll write a short list and
We'll do it offline. We'll write the short list so you won't hear who we're kind of saying fuck no to.
Yeah.
All right. We'll wrap this one up here. So guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you next week.